Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, world. This is Splatzloki, also known as Anonymous Zero. Today I bring you Splatzloki Initiative 002. Stop marching. Most of you by now understand that school and church are there to condition your mind. They're there to make you submissive, compliant, to make you obey so that you'll be good consumers or productive little cogs in the military-industrial complex. What you failed to do is understand that they also taught you how to protest. They showed you film clips of the 60s, of hippies, of the civil rights movement, of the Vietnam anti-war protests. They showed them marching, and then they jump cut forward and say, these people won the day. This is how you get things done. What they didn't show you was everything in between. They didn't show you hippies getting crushed by mounted police on horseback. They didn't give you stats on how many of those protesters were falsely accused and charged with things like resisting arrest or assault on an officer, and were then given decades behind bars or even life sentences. Those stories were never told on purpose so that you'd march. When you march, you hold up picket signs with little messages. Who the fuck are those messages for? Who's gonna read that shit? Even if the news films it, it gets edited out in post. Even if it makes it onto TV, who's gonna see it at 6 o'clock? People dog-ass tired from working 2 full-time jobs? Who can't do anything because they're busy scraping out a meager existence? Or do you think that the 1% living in their gated communities, eating caviar and drinking champagne, are going to be watching the 6 o'clock news and say, oh my God, what have we done? How could we have been so wrong? The only ones who give a shit about your protest or your message are marching right next to you, because they fail to use their imagination and they fail to understand the reality of it, just like you. So you gain nothing by marching. What you will do is you will risk losing everything. If they arrest you, they're gonna fine you. If they fine you, then City Hall and the cops laugh all the way to the bank. 5,000 protesters arrested, fined anywhere between $50 and $500 a piece. And that's if you don't hire a lawyer to protect you for a few grand. So the entire fucking justice system, they fucking clean up. Thank you for marching, asshole. Thank you for lining our coffers so that we can hire more fucking mounted cops. And they will crush you. And they will fire rubber bullets at you. And they will fucking gas you. And if they arrest you, those cops are not bound by a non-disclosure agreement. They can data mine your pictures, get those retinal scans, take those fingerprints, send it to the FBI, send it to the NSA, send it to the DHS. So now you've registered with them. Thank you for making our job, our lives easier. Thank you for volunteering that information. Not only have you now just been data mined and identified, not only have you filled their coffers, but you've also offered yourself as a guinea pig. In Ferguson, the cops rolled out new weapons, new little toys. They've got their MRABs now, they've got sonic weapons, they've got cell phone kill switches. They're using you as guinea pigs. And you're helping them test it in the field. So by marching, you risk everything and you gain nothing. Why? Because you're doing what a film strip told you. You need to stop marching. This is the 21st century. The people in the 60s, they didn't even know what a cell phone was. 21st century requires 21st century protest. I recommend you hit them in the wallet. In the 60s, people understood that there were a lot of people out there who didn't want to risk getting crushed, who didn't want to risk getting arrested. So they said, if you support our boycott of the bus system because of what they did to Miss Parks, all you have to do is turn off your TV at 6 o'clock on this date. And they ran the ad in the newspaper. And people turned off their TV at 6 o'clock. What happened? 6 o'clock is prime time. That's when the Nielsen's ratings kick in. And the ad spaces for prime time cost so much that when the TV stations couldn't show that there was any audience for those ads that cost so much, the companies who paid for those ads got pissed off and demanded their money back. So even though the boycott of the bus company was at 90% unused, empty buses, they didn't break. They were willing to continue abusing the black community. But when the entire world shut down the ad revenue for the TV company put pressure on the bus company to stop acting up. You hit them in their wallet. Coca-Cola, Walmart, McDonald's. You shut those motherfuckers down and they will put pressure on Congress to change things, to get the cops off of you. They'll use their money, their lawyers, their lobbyists to work for you. Because they're going to come asking questions. Why are you boycotting us? And that's when you chime up, anonymously. Without running the risk of getting crushed. Without the risk of having false charges levied against you. That's a 21st century tactic. And that's one of the things that you need to be doing 24/7. Hitting them in their wallet. But what you sure as fuck don't do ever is march. This has been Splatzloki Initiative 002. Stop marching.